We are here at Queens Harbor. We are doing a landscape refresh. So their landscape has not been updated in a while, and so we're kind of trying to refresh the landscape, make it look new, but without making it look too new. So we want it to look like it's always been here. We're keeping some of the very well-established plants, replacing some that are just like tired and need to go. We've got a few issues that we need to work around. Gopher tortoise here on the property, so we need to be very aware of that because they are protected in the state of Florida. So we're going to add a few annuals just to add some color, removing some of the old azaleas, replacing with some fresh azaleas, filling in the ginger with some new ginger, adding some ferns in the front, and then in the back we're replacing all of the turf because basically it's got a mixture of St. Augustine and Bermuda grass because of the golf course which is attached. I think you'll be very excited to see the before and after of this job because it is a beautiful property with a beautiful home, very well established trees, so it's very shady in some spots, sunny in some spots, but I think you'll be excited to see the after and see if this is something that you'd like to have done in your yard as well.
David Arthur with Earthworks. We're cleaning up the yard, so we've done things like cleaning up the trees, we're cleaning out the beds, getting the leaves out, the old mulch, took out some of the old plants that didn't look so good. We're just doing a landscape refresh. So everything that doesn't look so fresh is kind of coming out. We're redoing the layout a little bit, just making sure everything looks clean without cleaning it up so much that it looks like a new landscape. So if you have an old established landscape, it's going to look like this underneath. Actually, I've destroyed it, so it looks worse. But there's a lot of saplings and smallish, large trees that get buried in these old bushes, a lot of vines. So we'll go through and tear all that out, of course, refresh it. So a gap like this, a detail like this can kind of get overlooked for a long time, but we come through and refresh, we'll fill gaps like this, make it look fresh with pine straw, make it look fresh with sod, make those lines meet again, nice and clean. So out back here we took everything, except for that bougainvillea. Beautiful bougainvillea. We took all the old St. Augustine and Bermuda mix that was out here because we want pure St. Augustine again as preference. Other than that, there's nothing left out here. It's kind of a desert now. We took it all. So from the front we have a refresh, right? We don't want to look too different or too new. We just want to look refreshed in the front. In the back we've kind of done a little more tear out. We're going to have a nice new looking landscape back here, fresh install. A reno, if you will, renovation. We have all these existing bushes around the house that we're cleaning out from under. Dirt gets piled up, the leaves get piled up. Animals dig back in there and stuff. So we'll make it look pretty again, basically.
They like the natural look. As you can tell, we're in a very shady area, a lot of trees, very beautiful, serene setting, and so they kind of wanted to maintain that. So we kind of left the sides, we just cleaned up the weeds, and then put down some pine straw, just basically to kind of make it look like a natural wooded area, but yet not messy. That makes sense. So basically in the front here, this was all Boston ferns originally, and they loved the fern look, but as you know, Boston ferns can take over. So we cleaned that all out and reduced the size of the bed and then added some macho ferns, which are the same type of look, but not as invasive. So that is going to fill in beautifully with all the macho ferns. All the palm trees in the main part of the property were all pruned up and cleaned up. A lot of those, we had the boots removed. In the front over here, this is really great. We have a resident gopher turtle that lives in this area, so we couldn't touch it. They're protected by the state of Florida. So we basically had to kind of work around him. Haven't seen him yet, but we know he's in there because we find oyster shells all the time. So the other thing that we did in the front here is just added some annuals for color, just at the very entryway to the house. And that will, of course, can be changed seasonally, but we just add a little bit of color for now. And then over here, we just pulled out some of the shrubs that were kind of tired and very leggy looking and really didn't have a lot of ornamental value. And we added some podocarpus to kind of fill in that wall over there, and then just add some color with pentas and an African iris over here just to fill in with some color. And then we filled in the front with some other azaleas. We use George Tabor's, which will go fine with the formosas when they're ready to bloom. So this side was all just way overgrown shrubs that had been here for like 20 years. So we just took everything out. We didn't even want to try and keep any of it. Removed all of that. Even though it's really sunny right now, it gets morning sun, by 11, 12 o'clock, the sun is completely gone and this is all shaded. So we added some Shangri-La philodendrons and some Leucothoes for some color, not only in the spring, but in the fall, they change colors. And then on the other side, we added some blue days and then some arboricola in the center just to add a little brightness to this area. So this area is pretty much a really good example. We kept some of the shrubs that were there. We updated a few of the shrubs and then added some more fresh greenery along the walkway. We also added some beautiful lighting because of all these gorgeous trees. We added some uplighting too. Just a few select trees like this beautiful cabbage palm here, we're lighting up. A few of the trees along over here where the macho ferns are, we've lit up, and then we added a little bit of path lighting, some of the walls, but it does look gorgeous and they're very happy with the lighting. So this is an example over here of the natural area. So as you can see, this is all just natural palms that are growing. And we just kind of cleaned up the bed line really good, filled in with a little fresh sod here and there as needed, and then just used pine straw because they like that look, and it's really good for the environment as well. This area here too, we just kind of pulled out the African iris because they were way overgrown. We just pulled them out, cleaned them up, thinned them out a little bit, put them back in, added mulch because they wanted to keep these. This is where we did a major transformation. Because they're on the golf course, their grass was a combination of Bermuda grass and St. Augustine, and they prefer the St. Augustine grass. So basically we cut, along the property line, resodded this entire area, and then we ripped out all of the landscaping on this side. So this was also way overgrown, covering the windows, covering up their beautiful ligustrum, and it just made the yard seem really small. So we ripped everything out of there, kind of tried to keep the same bed line, but tucked it in a little bit, and then just added some more podocarpus, a few blue point junipers to add a little height on each side of the window, and then of course a really pretty little gem magnolia just for some color against the white house. This is their beautiful bougainvillea. Right now it looks like it's falling over, but they're having a custom trellis made for it so that it stands up because it's just a beautiful addition to their landscape. So we want to keep that, and it just needs to be enhanced. And then what one of the guys did, which was really great, is where the downspouts are, rather than burying the downspouts all the way out here because it goes out to the golf course, we just added a little bit of river rock at the end of this downspout here and then a few others around the property just to help to capture some of the water so it doesn't wash the mulch away. But then we just added, for color here, we just added a few more of the Tabor azaleas to bring in some of the front to the back, a few more of the blue days, and then instead of the giant African iris that was over here, we added some white fountain grass and moved the African iris over to that bed over there, which had a way overgrown pomegranate shrub. Cleaned up the palm tree that's over there, cleaned up the ligustrum, and then just added the African iris, and it just really totally refreshed the whole area. It looks so much better. So same thing over here. We just cleaned out all of the overgrown shrubs, removed everything. They're having some construction done so that they have a better view of their backyard now. And same thing over here. This was all overgrown, covering up the windows. Removed everything, added some Pringle podocarpus right under the window because they stay low, and then went with the Mackies in the corner. Again, there's some more of the river rock, just catching some of the runoff from their roof in specific areas. The guys saw where it was excessive water, and so they added rock in those specific areas. Same thing, a few pentas in the front, some more of the azaleas going around here for more color when they bloom. And that's kind of about it as far as the new landscaping. Same thing on this side with the natural area. We just put all new sod in, and then just added more pine straw and cleaned up a lot of there's nuts falling from the trees, and then cleaned up just a lot of the weeds and just some like strange things that were growing in there. But basically just made it look all fresh and new. They never really used this side of the house, so they weren't worried about sodding it or making it all usable. It's really just to make it look more natural. So here we are back at the front of the house, just to kind of finalize what we did here. So this is a larger property. Maybe this isn't the size of your house, but we do large properties, we do small properties. This is kind of a great example of a refresh plus new landscaping. We do entire new landscapings where we take everything out and start fresh, or we take what you have existing and kind of just fill in and add to or to enhance what you already have. So we're very flexible and open and willing to try and make your landscape look the way you see it, that fits your lifestyle and what you want to see as far as your curb appeal. So give us a call. My name is Pam again. I'm a landscape designer at Earthworks and would love to meet you and work with you on making your landscape something that you look forward to coming home to.